Please like, subscribe, and share my page. I'm giving you chronological history of my 50 years of martial arts training. And I wanted to share that with the world. I want to shout out my son, BillionDollarVisions.com. Go check him out. He's like a Spike Lee type dude. Got the videography. He's my videography. He's my tech man. He's my son. And I want to shout him out. I also want to shout out my man Banky Pound, who inspired me to make this channel with his channel, which is called 33 Years of Prison. Banky he did 33 years in prison and has started a channel where he talks about the horrors of prison in the hopes that can keep some of the youth out of prison. It's definitely not a place any of us want to go. And I'm glad I didn't get my hand-to-hand combat there, because one loss might be your life. Anyway, we're talking 50 years of martial arts stories today. 50. I think I left off, it was now 1977. This is my last year in the Marines. This is about January, February 77. I was in a demonstration in Los Angeles, Chinatown, and I ran into Gung. He's the master of the Gung Chole Fut system, called Silum Pai. It teaches Gung and Chole Fut Kung Fu. Gung, G-U-N-G, Fu, F-U. And he can trace his lineage back to Wong Fei Hung. 800 years. Some of you don't know, but some of you do know. He's a very legit person. And when I saw him, there were roofing tiles. The demonstration I saw, there was like a pile of roofing tiles, and he just put his hand on top of the tiles like this, turned his hand over, and went and shattered. So there was nothing like what I'm used to seeing. There was another type of power that he had. And I really wanted it. And he shattered those tiles by just putting his hands on them. So I signed up that day. I left my karate. I'd been continuing to practice my Shorin-Ryu forms that I had about 12 or 13, maybe 14 forms, katas that I knew. And I would practice them as I went through my running, punching, kicking, and sparring. But when I learned the Kung Fu, I actually stopped doing those forms. I still do my running, my punching, my kicking, my sparring, but I stopped doing those katas or forms, and because Kung Fu they call it forms. And then I went to Buxam Kong and learned the Hung and the Chole Fut form. So I would drive. First, I would go once a week. While I was still in the Marine Corps, I'd go once a week to the dojo and on Saturday and spend time with Buxam Kong. And every week I would come back, he'd give me more because I would practice every day the moves I got that week, and he could tell I had it, so he'd give me more. He said, I can keep giving you more because I can see you've been practicing. And so I was a very diligent student and learned the what they call the Lao Ga, which is the beginning form. It's a lot of stance training, very low horse stances, and you're using the palm strike, the tiger. So that's where the tiger crane form comes from. So I was strengthening my hands. I was using the jiao. And of course I had to prove myself in the Kung Fu school. So I was trying to be cool. Didn't want to go in and blast everybody, even though I kind of knew I could, because they didn't really have the type of experience I had with actual sparring. It's more theoretical for them. And they were, that some of them had a certain arrogance. So I let it go for a while. And then I pulled the plug, four up, four down. So the first guy was this little dude who'd been teaching me. So he felt like he was my teacher, and I let him get away with a few little what I felt violations. And then wanted to spar. I think he really thought he was just going to beat me up and continue to teach me. But anyway, I blasted him off the mat, and it was so easy, that it doesn't even. I mean, basically, I just did my thing with him. Side kick, spinning back kick, back fist, back fist, back fist, back fist, punch, 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 moving out of the way and blocking real hard. And so he was down, and then another dude came the next week. He felt, he could do something, and I was trying to avoid this type of thing because I wanted to just learn from Sam Kong. I didn't want to think I was trying to start anything, but this other dude came, and I caught him with like 2 side kicks, and he was done. Because my sidekick had authority, and so then the final guy was about a month later. This girl was in the dojo, right? And she looked like a penthouse pet. So I didn't think I stood a chance. But she actually liked me. I'm 21. I'm like, what? And they all were like super jealous. So this dude that worked at a bank, he's a bank manager. He about 30 years old. This chick is about 24. She looked like a penthouse pet. She's 24, 25. And he 30, and she going with this 21-year-old dude who just got out the Marines. And it was like, and she started, we started, seeing each other. So he was livid, and he challenged me and came out with all that anger, and I just was like, I just was very smoothly, stopping him, and then he rushed in, coming with a very amount of aggression, and I spun and hit him with a karate chop right to his forehead. His forehead turned red as he fell on his ass. He looked up at me and said, "Oh, good one." So that kind of settled my sparring, in that school, and I continued to work with Sam Kong all the way through. And then when I got out of the Marines, I actually moved to LA, and I would work out like 6 days a week. And I'd see my girlfriend as well. She was working out and cheering me on. And I really thought, I'm going to become a professional fighter. It was like all the kids that say they want to be in the NBA. But I didn't know. Then I still had that, illusion. And I continued to spar, continued to train. I'd gotten out of the Marines, and then I needed to make another move. And so in January, I had a fight scheduled that I could go to Hawaii and fight a professional kickboxing match, or in January I could come to North Carolina and go to college to start my next 4-year program. I got the GI Bill from the Marine Corps. I've got the Vietnam era veteran. I didn't go to Vietnam, but I was in the Marines during Vietnam, so I got very good benefits. And one of them was getting paid to go to college, but I needed to be there in January. I needed to be in this other fight in January. So I'm training for the fight, but I'm also leaning towards not going, because by now my illusions have been dampened. I'm not as good as I really think I am, but I'm good, but I'm not. I don't know if I'm that good, and how much money can I really make doing this. And so I'm going through those types of gyrations. Make a long story short, me and this heavyweight, we're going to go to Hawaii to these full contact matches. I didn't go. I went to North Carolina Central University, Durham, North Carolina. That's where I went to college. He went to Hawaii. He got knocked out in the first round, because actually the way we were training really wasn't good training for full contact fighting. So he got knocked out. He continued to train. I went to North Carolina Central University and started my career there. But of course, there was a couple situations there where I had to, kind of prove myself with the karate martial arts there. And I'll tell you about that next video.